Three-time NCAA champs, the Florida Gators, welcome the SEC champs and the current #1 team in the country, the LSU Tigers. I'm Bart Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark and Laura Rutledge on tonight's coverage. There is Dee Bro, the dean of the coaches in the SEC. And Kathy, last year was a record-setting year in every way for the LSU Tigers.
They had a truly magical year, on fire all season long, and came so close to a national title. They returned this year, having graduated 3 superlative seniors. Our take, though, they are just as great, just different.
And in contrast to LSU, Jenny Rollins in her 3rd year at Florida, and she's returning every single score from last year's team. And in fact, she has the top freshman recruiting class in the country, so things looking good for the Gators.
Oh, and those freshmen, they have come in ready and raring to go. The biggest challenge for Jenny Rowland is when and how to unveil and unleash those talented freshmen. So much to talk about. We'll flush this out as the meet goes on.
All right, the home team starts on vault. The visiting team starts on the uneven bars. That means Sierra Alexander, the sophomore from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, first up to go in the home opener for the Florida Gators.
And I can almost sense the nerve she feels. Sierra has so much power, but such responsibility leading off a great vault team. Watch for the speed and the power down the runway.
Coach tells us she's trying to control her power on the landings.
She's got a lot of it. Let's see if she can get the block. Nice timing, much better on the landing this week. Look at the distance she got from the table.
Kathy,
great height.
She took off in Gainesville and landed in Tallahassee. That was unreal.
Connor, I knew you were going to say that. Look at that, clean, much cleaner in the air. 5.5 feet at the height of that vault. She opens up, very well done, and almost gets the stick, just a hop back.
What an explosive start for the home team on the vault. Sammy Durrani, the freshman from Athens, Georgia, now leads it off for LSU on the bars that had a spectacular opening meet last weekend, scoring 49-6.
And Bart, I love how aggressively she swings this routine. She was like this in warm-ups. Look at the big pack salto down to the low bar. I love her toe point. What a tremendous start for this young freshman. See if she can get the landing on the dismount. Half in, half out. I thought she was a little bit close to the high bar, but pulled it out nicely.
And she gets congratulations from associate head coach Jay Clark, who knew this young lady well because she is a freshman from Athens, Georgia. And of course, Jay Clark was the head coach at Georgia for some time before he moved over to LSU. Great start for the LSU Tigers on the uneven bars. Jasmine Faubourg now, the freshman out of Bayville, New Jersey, did her club training at MG Elite, coached by Maggie Haney. That's, of course, the same gym as Olympic gold medalist Lori Hernandez.
Jasmine does a Yurchenko full. It is worth a 995 in Makota points. That's a max score that vault can get. She had a big hop on the landing, so that'll be a significant deduction.
Take a look at the rules in collegiate gymnastics. 6 gymnasts per team compete in each event. The best 5 scores count towards the team total from each of those 6 events. 4 events, 6 athletes. After 4 apparatus, the team with the highest cumulative score wins. The home team event order is vault, bars, beam, and floor. The away team does the reverse of that. Vault, bars, floor, and then beam, which means we go back to the bars for the visiting team, Maya Hambrick, the senior from Temple, Georgia.
Maya is such a consistent gymnast on all 4 events. She does not have a weakness.
12-time All-America athlete.
Little bit rushed on that transition down to low bar. Really have to get him back into the rhythm. This is a double layout. Or half in, half out, excuse me. What a landing. She couldn't get that landing in warm-ups, but nailed it in competition. Good for her. Toe on handstand, or toe on to the reverse hecht. This was the best part of the routine. Nice tight position in the air. And what a landing. Look at that. The stick crown.
We'll tell you more about that later, but let's just say it's gymnastics version of the turnover chain invented by Jay Clark, and we're going to be seeing a lot of that this year. Alicia Boren now for Florida on ball.
This is a 1.5 twist. It's a 10-0 start value. She gave a little bit away on the landing.
Let's go down to Laura.
Well, Bart, you mentioned LSU's stick crown, and you're right. It's like Miami football's turnover chain. Jay Clark, assistant coach for LSU, decided to come up with it before the season. He said, do you guys think this is a little silly? And they said, no, we love it. Let's do it. Obviously, you get rewarded with the crown if you get a stick. And the gymnasts have told me it actually serves as great motivation. Everybody wants to put that crown on. I'm going to try to see if I can commandeer it and send it you guys' way later, because both of you stuck plenty of landings in your careers.
Thank you, Laura. Back to the bars now. Ashlyn Kirby. The first two scores, by the way, for Durrani and Hambrick were both 9-8.
Nice to see Ashlyn Kirby in the lineup. Look at that. Oh, she was going so hard for that handstand position, just a little overdone. You want to see an athlete aggressively go for the handstand. She did. She just mistimed the release and over-rotated that handstand. Back into the routine. I think she was a little bit short on that final handstand. Sets up the double layout, though. Does she have to turn over the crown for that?
I think they do.
Think
have
she
to pass
might.
it along. Well done. Okay, an unfortunate mistake there for LSU. Now, the visiting team opening up on the bars can afford no mistakes. So they had one mistake, but they will obviously try to replace that score as we go back to vault. Alicia Boren had a 9.875 to follow up Jasmine Folberg's 9.8 and Sierra Alexander's 9.75. And this is 11-time All-American Kennedy Baker.
And better than ever this year. She is really wanting to make a statement this year. 1.5 twists. They cannot quite get the landings on these vault. They seem very, almost over-amped. Nice block off the table. 1.5 twist. She bent her legs a little bit and rushed the landing.
The vaults are huge, though, aren't they?
Yes.
They're getting enormous
Love to see
explosion
that.
off the vault table. Kennedy Edney will be next up for LSU on the bars. We're waiting on the score for Ashlyn Kirby. All right, Kathy, let's kind of break down the landings. I mean, these are all subjective, of course, but give us a guide here.
And they're especially subjective because these athletes have learned to finesse the landing and try to hide those little small steps and hops. But the judges are looking closely, so a 1/10 of a point for a small, we'll even see 1/2 of a deduction for those tiny little steps. Large step, 2/10 or more, though. And a fall, of course, is 5/10 of a point off.
Now, typically the judges have a conference if they are they're off on either the elements in the routine. Typically it's an argument about whether they gave them full credit for one of the elements.
Exactly, especially when they fall on an element that they really need for their bonus points to get that full start value of 10.0, whether to give credit or not.
Collegiate gymnastics routines, if you do all the base requirements, basically scored a 9.5, you need to get 5/10 of bonus for doing extra degree of difficulty or some unusual combination.
And for the great athletes in this competition here, that's easy for them to do. Many of them go above and beyond.
Ashlyn Kirby's score is in now. It's a 9-1, which now brings up Kennedy Edney. So they have two 9.8s from Durrani and Hambrick, but they will need 3 strong routines here in this opening rotation.
Nice open handstand. To the clear hip to the reverse heck. We're seeing a lot of different ways to get into that single bar release move. I like seeing her form is much tighter, a little bit cleaner than last year. She's worked hard on that. Now watch this double layout. It usually flies. They're thinking landing, they're thinking stick. They want that crown, I can tell. The one thing you really want to see, though, is a huge dismount. Not just the landing, but what a landing she got there.
And as you can see, she
Look
not
at
only
that.
nailed it, but she earned the
You got a
glory of wearing the crown for a few minutes. But there's a couple of more performers who are good at sticking as well. Rachel Slocum up now for Florida.
Interesting thought.
Oh, no.
That's okay. She didn't touch. She didn't touch the table with board. She can repeat the run. It shouldn't be a problem.
That really is very rare to see in competition.
Absolutely. I've never seen, you rarely see any gymnast, and I certainly haven't seen Rachel do that.
She doesn't seem too uptight about it, Kathy. She is kind of a loose cannon on the sidelines for Florida. We've been enjoying her. She was a transfer student formerly at Eastern Michigan. She's a two-time All-American since she came here to Florida, and she adds a lot of life to this place.
She could actually do that twice and still be okay. On your third attempt, you have to vault, however.
Uneven bars has started. I think they got their signals crossed here because maybe the judges weren't looking and didn't realize she didn't do her vault. So Lexi Priestman, the junior from Cincinnati, on the bars for LSU.
Did a fantastic job. The rest of the routine, besides hopping on the landing, was superb.
She's a 2017 SEC uneven bar champ. But that was an unusual set of circumstances. Let's see now if Rachel Slocum can do this vault.
This is a traditional. She is totally off on the run.
Oh my goodness.
She almost had to do that vault standing. Midway down the vault runway, I wish she had just pulled off and run off again, because you are allowed. Right here, you can see her almost stop. She doesn't have a chance of making that vault. She's lucky she didn't get hurt.
Really unusual to get your steps off, especially for an athlete at this high level. It's quite rare. They measure their steps literally in fine detail to make sure that you start and end exactly where you need to so you can get optimal push off the board. But an unfortunate set of circumstances for Rachel Slocum. It appears that the coaches are discussing the fact that the athletes went out of order, and they might be suggesting that Lexi Priestman can go again.
And when we say that, going out of order, because normally that's a deduction if you've gone out of your order.
We just found out they're going to count Lexi Priestman, 9.875. Alex McMurtry now will wait for her vault. Boy, this has really thrown off the rhythm here in this first rotation.
So Alex is one of the best vaulters we've ever seen in collegiate gymnastics. She normally, her big vault is a Yurchenko double twist. She's going to do a full here, and I'm sure she's glad at this point. She's just doing the full. She can do it in her sleep.
Rachel Slocum's score is a 0.
Normally that vault would have been a piked front half. She did not do, obviously, the vault.
This is extremely confusing. I think even the judges seem to be a little bit. Here we go. Now Rachel Slocum's score comes in. That's odd, a 4.35.
Yes, I was going to say, it shouldn't be a 0. It's only a 0 if you don't do a vault or you miss your hands completely.
And you don't land on your feet first.
Partly, they might have thought she did not land on her feet first, but they did touch first. Yurchenko full here. Watch the height, distance, amplitude. One of the most dynamic vaults you'll ever see. She didn't quite get the perfect stick, but the rest of the vault is so spectacular. Check out the block, the perfect form, technique, opens out, and really almost glued her big toes to the mat. I don't even think they lifted. They lifted a little bit, so she hopped in place.
Let's go down to Laura Rutledge.
Yeah, Bart, we're talking about how confusing this is, and LSU trying to remind their gymnasts to stay in what they call their purple zone and stay focused because they don't want people to get off track with the weird rhythm here.
Sarah Finnegan now, the junior from Lee Summit, Missouri.
She rushed that first cast handstand just a little bit.
She's superb here. She was one of the athletes in the 6-way tie for the national championship on this event last year.
Pulls off a very nice routine. Not a stick on the landing, but a good solid routine, particularly following such confusion.
An odd set of circumstances here. but no question that Sarah Finnegan is one of the finest all-around gymnasts in the country this year.
Absolutely. She hit that handstand perfectly. Almost went, actually did go a little bit too far, but pulls it back. And her dismount is a double layout. Piked too much to try to come in for that landing and had to hop back.
All right, I have no explanation for what just happened in the first rotation and the odd score for Rachel Slocum. Each team had 5 hits and 1 miss. It's still going to be close. See O'Connell Center. You can see this one is close. Florida with a slight lead over visiting LSU. Hi everybody, I'm Bart Connor along with my fellow Olympic medalist Kathy Johnson-Clark, and that was an odd start to the competition, but it doesn't take away from the running theme was that in the past Florida has had lack of depth, which has really hurt them in postseason. This year, it's anything but that.
Oh, no. This year, they are packed. When you consider that Florida hasn't lost a single routine from the Super 6 finals, add to that Alex McMurtry having the dream finish to the NCAAs, winning the all-around title, and then those phenomenal freshmen adding to Kennedy Baker and Alicia Warren being at their best ever. Oh, my gosh, this could be lightning in a bottle.
Expecting a great meet tonight here in Gainesville. And when we come back, our Laura Rutledge will tell us all about a very special young girl named Bailey Warner. You're not going to want to miss this.
We're back in Gainesville, and a special moment for this Florida Gators gymnastics team as they welcomed their newest team member, Bailey Warner, to the floor tonight in front of the home crowd. Bailey is a 7-year-old. She's dealing with an inoperable brain tumor. She is getting treatment for it, and it is shrinking the tumor. But her greatest joy right now is being able to be a part of this Florida team. She was a part of the introductions tonight. She had her headshot taken, of course, put on her Gators leotard. And earlier this year, she signed a letter of intent to join this team. She even has a very special corner of the Gators locker room that has Forever Bailey, her hashtag that you can find on Twitter. You can find it on Facebook. If you're so inclined, you can go to her family's GoFundMe page and help out however you want to. This Florida team saying that what she's brought has been even more than they've been able to bring her. Such a motivation and such a reminder of what really matters, Bart.
Thank you so much, Laura. What a heartwarming story, and the way this team has rallied around this young lady and her family here in Gainesville.
LSU on the ball and Florida on the bars.
So we move to the second rotation. LSU goes to the vault. The home team, Florida, will move to the bars.
And Bart, these are two great teams that need to settle down a little bit. We've seen some kind of unexpected
Even
things
the judges
happen.
need to settle down.
Exactly. Everybody just needs to take a deep breath. You and I need to take a very deep breath and just settle down because the gymnastics is there. Both of these teams have prepared so well for the start of season.
Erin McAdag, the senior from Redwood City, California, doing 3 events typically, vault, beam. Sometimes she's in the floor lineup.
So the judges, interestingly, are discussing something over by the vault. They're trying to get on the same page, obviously. They've seen some kind of unusual things they don't usually see in competition. There's that deep breath. Erin McAdag is now ready to vault. And this is a very big vault. She wasn't in the lineup last year. Good start for LSU. Her vault was actually even bigger in the warm-ups. I think she was thinking about the landing, trying to get that controlled stick.
She's kind of new to the vault lineup. She had a navicular problem in her foot last year, which really hindered her ability to take hard landings. So good to have her in there. And that's going to be part of the theme this year for LSU is with the loss of some of their super seniors, who's going to step up and get big scores for the Tigers this year without people like Sydney Ewing and Ashley Nat, Shea Zamardi. Alicia Boren now will lead off the Gators on bars.
Bart, this is a really good, solid lead-off routine on this event. Big air on that single bar release. Good handstands. Very precise so far. just a tad short on that final handstand. The judges sit right on the side. Wow! That's what she said to herself. That's a stuck landing. Good for her.
Great start for the Gators on bars.
Reverse hacked. Hips about 1.5 feet over the bar. Toes are pointed. Love to see that. And the dismount, she zeroed in like a radar right to a perfect landing.
For LSU, Maya Hambrick.
One of the strong events for LSU traditionally has been vault. Maya Hambrick will go up now.
Now
9.825 was the score for Macadam.
This is a 1.5. She has sat it down twice so far. Not this time. She was making sure, if anything, I'm going to over-rotate it a little bit, get it to my feet. Well done.
You saw her score 9.325 from last week against West Virginia. She did not make that landing, so improvement there for Maya Hambrick.
Next up on bars for your Florida Gators.
I'm seeing more nervous faces at this point. I think they will begin to settle down as the meet goes on. Rachel Gowie here on the uneven bars.
2017 SEC all-freshman team.
And she is lovely on this event. Just floats that release move. Beautiful leg form, toe point. And another release move down to the low bar.
Score for Alicia Bourne was a 9.775.
The dismount, a double layout. She piped down, but boy, did she find that landing. I think something's going on with that mat because every single bar routine so far, look at this. Now watch, when she regressed the bar, ideally you want to be far enough away from the bar so the arms are fully extended and straight. She's a little close, so they'll take a little deduction there, but watch this. Boom, right into the landing. Well done.
2 hit routines for Florida on the bars. And talking about hit routines, 9.9 for Maya Hambrick. This brings up Lexi Priestman.
Great to see her in the vault lineup. Oh my gosh, is what she said. Those feet did not move at all. She is much healthier this year. Great to see her able to do these leg events. Look at that. Good for her.
We're going to have to hand over the stick crown for that. Here's a young lady who excels on the uneven bars. Great to see her in the vault lineup this year. Megan Skaggs, the freshman from Marietta, Georgia now. 2-time member of the senior national U.S. team.
One of the exciting freshmen this year for Florida. Look at the height. Oh, that's too bad. That was almost the perfect height and distance from the bar, just a little too far out. Let's see, because boy, I thought she had it. I thought it was gorgeous, and she just couldn't hang on. Looked like she was right there. Sometimes you catch and your grip just isn't in the right place to really grab that bar.
There's a dowel rod at the end of those grips, and sometimes you don't quite get the dowel rod, which is about as thick as a pencil, over the top of the bar, and you can bounce right off. But boy, I tell you one thing, she was so aggressive. It wasn't like she was holding back.
No, and it's exactly what you want to see. This is early in the season. Nice handstand position. Does it again. Well done. Oh, no. She was supposed to connect that to the pack salto down. A little bit off. Glad she redid the combination. She needs it for her bonus, her difficulty. Gorgeous straight body swing on the double layout. Well, unfortunately, 0.5 of a point for the fall, and they will take off for that pack salto down to the low bar. It was quite awkward as she transitioned.
So Florida had a missed vault and now a missed uneven bars routine.
So when you're thinking college gymnastics, ideally by the end of the season, you're going to see as many 9.9s or higher from those top teams. That's what they're all shooting for.
Sarah Edwards, the freshman now.
I don't know if you notice how close she runs from. That is the shortest run and the most speed and power worked up in such a short distance to do a 1.5. It was unbelievable. that she can generate that much speed in so few steps and space. Nice 1.5 vault.
Outstanding technique for the young freshman, Sarah Edwards. By the way, she's coming up after Lexi Priestman got a 9.925, so LSU is extremely impressive over on vault in this second rotation. Little extra pressure on Kennedy Baker now. 11-time All-American, has been in this situation before.
Kennedy looks so smooth in warm-ups. Nice release move. Bail to handstand. Really tight form, legs together. She has a little bit trouble getting straight on her handstands, but the swing. There's the dismount, double front. Almost got the landing, not quite, but a great routine.
3-time SEC champ, 2 years on the senior national team. She's a senior now from Flower Mound, Texas. What a contributor to this program.
So many coaches just don't like this double front dismount because they're so hard to land, but Kennedy has an uncanny sense in the air. She does it very well.
She's so high, she has a little more time than others to actually judge that landing. Well done.
Sarah Finnegan is doing a Yurchenko fall. Watch the beauty in the air. So few gymnasts can really maintain that exquisite form throughout a vault.
Talk about a great rotation for LSU. Sarah Edwards had a 9.9. The low score for them so far is 9.825 on this event.
Beautiful, tight, full twist. And just an elegant step back, so not quite a stick.
8-time All-American Sarah Finnegan gets some tips from Jay Clark, the associate head coach. Amelia Hundley now, the sophomore, 3-time All-American last year and All-SEC. Sophomore from Hamilton, Ohio.
Amelia does 3 releases in her move. You won't see a single bar release, but watch this. Opens up with a tone shout. Right back down to low bar with a pack salto. And right here, she's going to add a half twist. Turn on, half twist, back up to the high bar. Just beautifully done. She has nice execution. And those skills are quite difficult, especially in combination. Full twisting double back for the dismount. Really, really solid routine for them.
A critical hit for the Florida Gators because they're trying to replace that 9.275 from Megan Skaggs.
What a beautiful transition to high bar. Great level of difficulty. Finishes it off with a double back and a full twist. Nice job.
9.775 was the score for Sarah Finnegan. Kennedy Edney will be their anchor performer, and boy, you see right there, 2017 NCAA champion
And
as a freshman.
Flew. Watch the dynamics of this vault. See if she can get the landing. 1.5 twist. Oh, she was thinking landing too soon. I was afraid of that. You really got to blast a big vault in order to hit that shape in the air that you need to then just float in for the landing.
Very impressive scores throughout, though, for LSU on vault. They have a 9.925, which is a career high for Lexi Priestman over there. 2 9.9s as well. Alex McMurtry now. Extra pressure here in the final set. There are 4 hit routines for Florida, but you need 5. And, of course, it comes down to the 15-time All-American Alex McMurtry, the senior.
This is an extremely comfortable routine. Watch the height on this release move. That is as big as it gets. She stays so calm. Early in the season, sometimes her handstands are a slight pike, and then she kind of works that out as the season goes on. You see right there, a little bit of pike in the swing, but the dismount is gorgeous. As always, sky high and a great landing.
And a much-needed hit routine for Alex McMurtry for Florida in the second rotation.
Now, I love how aggressively she swings right up to that handstand. Perfect. And check this out. That is tremendous height. 2 feet above the bar. Nice distance away. And just keeps that swing going from start to finish. And she has an uncanny way of sticking these landings.
Let's go down to Laura. She's with Dee Dee Bro.
Thank you, Bart. Dee Dee, you just had a talk with your team and you were saying beast mode. What do you mean by that?
Well, it just means put the hammer down. Let's go. We're going to floor. it's the middle of the meet. Keep pressing, keep pushing. You're the away team. You got to try harder. So just trying to rally the troops.
Yeah, you wanted to see how this young team would perform on the road. How have they done so far?
No complaints. You know, we have freshmen all over our lineup. 1.5 vault from a freshman tonight. We're going to have a couple of freshmen in our floor lineup. Beams full of them. But this is so early in our season, and this doesn't define who we are or where we want to be, but it's a good indication of where we're going.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
LSU with a slight lead over Florida as we head into rotation 3. LSU to the floor, Florida to the beam. We'll be right back.
We're back here in Gainesville, Florida. Here are the scores at the halfway point in this competition. You see LSU, the visiting team, with a slight lead over Florida. It's interesting, we talk about the contrasting personalities between Dee Bro and Jenny Roll, and it's funny because they're two enormously successful coaches, but they go about it completely differently, and we talked to some of the team members about their coaches' personalities and impressions of them.
I don't know, she's like super sweet. We'll be in a huddle and she'll just be like, we're gonna get out there and you guys are gonna do your best. And she's like super chill. I don't even think she says anything. She just kind of looks at me and she's like,
all right, ladies, no mind, no mind. I want good takeoffs, good landings.
All you gotta do, you know, just it's a 1, 2, 3. It's not a whole routine. You can do it.
Nothing great is ever achieved without enthusiasm.
Mac, I want you to stay focused. All right, beast mode.
Well, McKenna's got Dee Dee down pat. Good for her.
And two outstanding coaches, and they have their success in different ways, but both equally effective. Jenny Rowland and Dee Bro. More gymnastics in rotation 3 when we come back to Gainesville, Florida.
We so often ooh and ah about height. Check this out, almost 6 feet, and then distance too. 8 feet away from the table. That's almost as big as you can get on the vault. It is extraordinary. But there's another way to show style. Check this out, the elegant form in the air. Toes pointed, tight legs, straight body. Watch her feet, they stay completely together, pointed all the way through the vault. That is style.
Two of the finest all-around gymnasts in the country, Alex McMurtry, Sarah Finnegan. Expect them to be contenders by the end of the year for an NCAA all-around championship crown. Huge crowd on hand here for the home opener in Gainesville as we move to the third of 4 rotations, meaning the home team, Florida, moves to the beam, and the visiting team, LSU, will be on floor exercise in this rotation. Coming up next, we'll send you to Coleman Coliseum in Tuscaloosa as our Friday Night Heights doubleheader continues. Georgia opens up with their first meet of the year as they take on number 9 Alabama right here on the SEC Network, also streaming live on the ESPN app. And that, by the way, will be the coaching debut of Courtney Kupets-Carter at Georgia. We wish them all well. Kennedy Baker set to go on the beam for Florida. 11-time All-American.
Now this is normally a double wolf turn. I saw her warm up only the full, but look at that, beautifully done. She really needed to add that back to her routine for the balance and to show that level of difficulty in the dance. Front aerial to her back handspring, that's her acro series. You can tell how much work she has put in the off season to really make this senior season something special. Straddle jump. Pretty good form in the air. The judges are looking for that full 180-degree split in those jumps. Secure landings. This is an aerial cartwheel to her full. Excellent start for Florida on the beam.
As we mentioned at the top of the show, Florida experiencing a level of depth and quality depth that they have never enjoyed.
She did this as a freshman and then took it out to just be conservative, to be safe, and I'm so glad to see her push it this year, put it back in the routine, and execute so well.
To the floor now for LSU. You heard Dee Bro talk about some youngsters in her lineup. This is Ashlyn Kirby. She's a sophomore, actually, from Claremont, North Carolina. Was not in the lineup last year.
Ashlyn doesn't have the most difficult tumbling, but this is a comfortable routine, so pleasing to watch. Opens with her combination pass with 2 saltos. Comes back with a double tuck, good landing. The judges will see more explosive tumbling, a little higher and a little more difficulty, but great to see her come up with really controlled landings.
Obviously, it's very early in the season. We noted that she scored a 9.05 on uneven bars in the first rotation, but this is what Dee Bro's looking for. Who are the young ladies that are going to step up and replace some of their super seniors who were so reliable in the last few years?
This is a front layout to a front full twist. Another very good landing. That was the strength of the routine. Entertaining, but gave nothing away on those landings. Now the gymnasts are required to do a combination pass that has 2 different saltos in the routine. There's the front layout, there's a front with a full twist.
Let's go down to Laura Rutledge.
Guys, we're about to see Jasmine Faubourg, and she's going to be on the beam. Her mom, Michelle, is one of 20 guests that she has here right now filming. She's going to watch this routine from her cell phone. As you would imagine, you see the big smile on her face. She is so proud to see her daughter out here tonight.
We weren't sure if we were going to see Megan Skaggs or Jasmine Faubourg in this spot in the lineup, but Faubourg, the freshman out of Bayville, New Jersey, got the call tonight.
Her back handspring, layout, step out. Interesting, so many of the gymnasts now are doing that finished position with the arms down, a follow through. And I think it really did, She needed to connect those 2 jumps. Very difficult sheet jump, and good. She added the little beat jump. And because that sheet jump is difficult enough, just adding the beat jump gives her the connection, which is a special requirement on beam. Good thinking, smart thinking, well-constructed routine. Good for her.
Lots of coaches put in a variety of combination elements in case one is off. They can still get a full 10.0 start value.
Now this is a dismount you're going to see a lot in college gymnastics.
Mom approves, and everybody back in New Jersey cheering her on.
Ruby Harold.
Ruby Harold now for LSU on the floor. Ashlyn Kirby had a 9.775, so a nice job in the leadoff spot there for her.
Ruby mostly competed on the uneven bars last season for the Tigers. Good to see her here on the floor exercise. She's going to open with a front double twist. Double tuck needs a little bit more arm lift to really get that amplitude.
Harold is out of Bristol, England, a 2-time Olympian, competed for Great Britain in 2016 and 2012 Olympics.
This is her leap series here. Switch ring, the switch half. Really needed to get that back leg up just a little bit more. The toe needs to come nearer the head on that switch ring. Really fun to see her compete for. Finishes strong, back 1.5 to front layout.
That's LSU's Ruby Harold.
Another good example of an athlete at LSU stepping up to see if she can be a contributor in events that are not typically her strength. Good job for Ruby Harold. Normally, as you mentioned, we see her in the uneven bars where she excels. There's Kiana Winston from Alabama. She's warming up, and later on this evening on the SEC Network, it's Georgia, Alabama coming up next. You want to stick around for that one. That's one of the great rivalries in all of sports. Alicia Boren, you see, had a 9-9 last week against West Virginia on beam. Currently tied for 4th in the NCAA with that impressive score in the opening meet of the year.
Alicia had a great start to her season. Really looks like this is an athlete who wants to make a statement this year. And I really think that's one of the keys for Florida. She and Kennedy Baker both are just at their best this season.
Like Baker, she has the capability of scoring 9-9 or better on all 4 apparatus. Scores in for Jasmine Foberg a 9.625 after Kennedy Baker's 9.7.
I love that front toss. She has so many different skills to choose from. Very talented balance beam worker. Her acrobatic series is a handsman layout step out. Very solid. So secure in this routine. Boy, her leaps look better this year. Shoulders are more down. Long neck. You really want to see that stretch and extension all the way to the gainer layout. So a little bit of nerves start to creep in, but she settled them down. Good for her. I also like the way she goes up on releve. She's added this cartwheel into her gainer full. I think that's a great upgrade for that routine. Really balances the routine, puts a little more difficulty at the very end. She's really improved here. Nice split position in the air, but I like that her shoulders are down. Great addition to the routine. She used to just do that gainer full off the side, and adding the cartwheel, just the added touch she needs.
This is Sarah Edwards, the freshman. Out of Lanier's Gymnastics. That's where she did her club training.
And we saw her speed and power on vault. I expect to see the same with her tumbling. She opens with the front double full. Very clean. Like to see, especially on those twisting elements, to really keep that leg form. Even her tumbling. Short run, 2 steps, boom. Has to work just a little bit on her foot form as she prepares for those leaps, a little bit flat-footed. But I tell you what, her smile distracts from that just a little bit. So maybe the judges are watching her face and not the feet. And that's something she can work on, though, throughout the season. Clean it up. Wow. Oh, too bad. Back-to-back front with fulls. Missed the second one. Just mistimed that punch in between. Too bad.
That was LSU's Sarah Edwards.
Oh.
A huge crowd on hand in the Stephen C. O'Connell Center. Look at that, folks. 9,661, the first gymnastics sellout in this building in Florida Gators history. Congratulations to Jenny Rowland and her entire staff, and Mary Howard and the Sports Information Department for putting on not only a fine show, but engaging the community. They are here in force to see really a spectacular team. They're going to follow their journey this year all the way from this meet to the NCAA championships, where Florida and LSU are expected to contend for championship titles.
And as we watch Rachel Gowie on beam, she is so lovely on this apparatus. She does a 3-element series right here. Lots of bonus points to 2 layout step outs. Square as can be, really lines those hips and shoulders up.
2017 SEC All-Freshman team.
Gorgeous combination. Front aerial to Sisson. Already she is so much better than she was last year and looks so comfortable. You can tell she's worked really hard to start this season off strong. Dismount, gainer full, off the side. What an excellent routine. Good for her.
And she's following up a 9-9 from Alicia Boren. So Florida scores are 9-7, 9-6, 2-5, and 9-9. Beautiful set.
More and more we're going to see these 3-element series. Good bonus points there. Perfect form throughout. Look at that. Tight legs.
Next on the floor for LSU, Kennedy Edney.
Kennedy Edney will be next up for LSU on the floor. Their scores to this point, 9-7, 7-5 for Ashlyn Kirby. Ruby Harold, a 9-8-5. Sarah Edwards, unfortunately, only 9-1-7-5. Here is the sophomore from Chino, California.
Now watch this pass here. Double Arabian. She really spots. And who she's spotting is Ashley Matt in the corner, who's now student coaching. She stands right on that corner as they tumble toward her. Back 1.5 to front layout, much better landing.
Rachel Gowie's score, by the way, on the beam is in. It's a career high 9.95 and well-deserved, Kathy.
Absolutely. They had so many great performers last year. Kennedy didn't have the opportunity to compete much on this event, so really nice to see her get that chance here. She certainly has the power and the tumbling skills to bring a lot to this floor lineup. Finishes with a double back in tuck position. Really good, especially for early in the season.
And you see she was getting some congratulations there from Ashley Nett. We'll tell you more about her after this.
Her first pass is a double Arabian. Watch this, half twist here, then double front, and she looks right in the eyes of Ashley Nett. That helps you when you find a blind landing.
Let's go down to Laura.
Let's talk about Alyssa Bowman here, the fantastic freshman for Florida, about to hit the beam. Guys, she wants to be doing a lot more than she's doing tonight. Thinks she's ready for it, but they are trying to pace her. And watch the way she dances into her skills. Kathy, you love this, and we're so excited to see this routine.
This is one of the most complete, truly stunning balance beam routines that we're going to see this year. Beautiful combination. A nodi. Oh, she didn't connect it. She doesn't need to connect it for the additional difficulty, but had she connected that Anodi into the back handspring layout step out, a little bit of nerves I'm seeing, that would have been 0.6 of a point bonus, if you can believe it, on one pass.
But even with a pause, she'll still have enough bonus in this routine likely to get more than enough difficulty.
Absolutely, and just the difficulty she chooses to do in her dance.
Kennedy Edney's score, by the way, in on floor 9-9.
Watch this combination. Front aerial, Sisson dances right out of it to a sharp pose. Gorgeous.
Bowman, the freshman from Dallas, Texas, to their club training at Woga. Here's a young lady who earned a spot in the 2016 Olympic trials, but had to pull out because of an elbow injury. Truly in the mix at the top of elite gymnasts just a couple of years ago.
This is a 1.5 twist.
Oh!
Clean as can be, just had to shuffle that foot back for the landing. And I can tell you this routine will only get better. That's called an anodi, or the front aerial to the sison. And the dismount, very nice form in the air. She wants to do a double twist, but as Jenny Rowland told her, until that form is perfect, gonna stick with the 1.5.
There is Ashley Natt, the student assistant coach, 17-time All-American, 4-time SEC champion, and NCAA floor champion as well. She graduated. She's working on her master's degree at LSU now, and she's coaching on the sidelines today.
And we go from one stunning beauty to another. Sarah Finnegan is absolutely gorgeous in her dance. And watch this pass, 1.5 twist through to 2.5 twist. So much going on in that tumbling pass. Perfect control. You will never find her in a position where the toes aren't pointed. Whether in the pose or in transition, every time the foot comes off the floor, it points. It's gorgeous. Perfectly positioned. High double back finish, good for her. Her endurance is so much better than last year, and for this time in the season, it's extraordinary. Good for her. Just a stunning routine with the choreography, the way she dances in and out of the tumbling. It's a complete performance. Watch this, 1.5 twist all the way through to a 2.5 twist. Legs never separate. Perfectly straight, toes perfectly pointed. Nice difficulty to finish with a pike double back, chest up. Hard work paying off.
Alex McMurtry will wrap it up on the beam for Florida. She's coming up after Alyssa Bowman's 9.825.
Alex's strength on balance beam is just how secure and calm she is throughout the routine. She was already smiling before the finished position. Always a fun skill. It doesn't matter where we are. Audiences love that skill. The Shushanova from the straddle jump and back hip circle on the balance beam. Very secure routine. She's usually pretty amazing on this double twist and finding the landing. Almost. Thought she had the stick, just a tiny hop forward. Well done.
They have 2 outstanding scores already. Alicia Bourne had a 9.9, Rachel Gowie a 9.95.
I hate to tell my producer that this actually has a name. It's called a Shushanova, but he likes the flying banana. And I can see it. And double twist, just a little leg cross in the air. And then near perfect landing, not quite.
Maya Hamrick finish it off for LSU on the floor. Sarah Finnegan, a 9.875. And as Dee Dee Bro told us before the meet, she's really hoping the core of her team is people like Finnegan the junior and Hamrick the senior.
Check this double layout out.
Oh,
wow,
nice.
That is one of the best double layouts I've ever seen her do. She does a little different style, a little different technique on her double layout. Has a slight pike in the second somersault, but she's so high.
Score for McMurtry is in their third 9.9 or better on beam. Nice job for Florida over there. Calculating the scores for Hamrick. A 9.725 on floor for LSU to lead after the first rotation. If Hamrick can get more than a 9.725, let's go to Laura.
Bart, Maya Hambrick said that this year has been a little different for her because of so many youngsters on this team. She's felt very responsible for them. She's almost had to remind herself to focus on her a little bit, but she said it's actually helped with her confidence. Believe it or not, somebody as talented as Maya Hambrick at times has struggled to be confident. She's not really feeling that this year. She's feeling very confident.
Strong finish, pike double back, excellent landings on every pass, extraordinary amplitude on the first two, great routine.
That was LSU's Maya Hambrick. And that's the end of our third rotation.
Now watch the technique she uses.
You now have 2 minutes to
Sets it up beautifully, perfectly laid out. Pike's a little bit right there, but that's the least amount of pike I've seen on the second somersault. The last pass, pike double back. This is what you want to see for some of the best. Her knees are slightly bent, not quite in a perfect pike.
Go down to Laura Rutledge with Jenny Rowland.
All right, thank you, Bart. Coach Rowland, we just saw this freshman team throughout this first part of this meet. What are your thoughts on the way that your freshmen have performed in front of the home crowd for the first time?
I'm really proud of the freshmen. It's so incredibly difficult sometimes to come in front of a sellout crowd, in front of Gator Nation. Their very first time, that adrenaline rush, it's a little difficult to manage. They've done a very good job. We still have one event to go, so looking forward to one more fun event.
You just had a little huddle with the team, and you finished it screaming fresh legs. What is that all about?
It's sort of an inside joke, but really it's just a mentality to get out there and give it all on floor.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
We will see what Florida does on the floor. LSU with a slight lead, and they're going to head to the beam to finish this off.
Gainesville, as you can see, LSU with a 1/4 point lead over Florida. There is McKenna Kelly, the daughter of Olympic legend Mary Lou Retton. Now, she suffered a season-ending injury this past fall, an Achilles tendon tear in training.
And what a tremendous loss for this team. She had such a great season. We so enjoyed watching her on floor exercise. She was ready to anchor that event for them and possibly even get into vault and beam lineup. But she has the most amazing attitude.
It's a tough setback for McKenna, but she's here in spirit and in energy in every way.
It was the Monday back from our Thanksgiving break, our first practice. We were getting it as a team. We're starting on floor. One of my full ins in the takeoff, it just goes, and I tore my Achilles. So much happens in that split second of a time. So I punch and it goes, and in the air I'm like, oh my gosh, like did that just happen? And I land, and my leg was on fire. My mom's had quite a few surgeries herself, so she kind of knows how this thing goes. She's bubbly too, so that's definitely where I get it from. Yeah, she's definitely been a shoulder for me to lean on. I'm a firm believer that things happen for a reason, and I have this unexplainable piece about it, really. My purpose for this season is still the same. I'm still going to be on the team. I'm still, contributing, but just in a different role. I've never had such a physical limitation like this before, so this is going to be new for me too, but it's going to shape me into a different person and a new character, and I'm excited what I can bring to the team this year.
McKenna Kelly said earlier today, this may sound crazy, but this injury is the best thing that's ever happened to me. She said the blessings that have come have outweighed the challenges that she's faced with her injury. She's learned so much about herself, and she's ready to come back with a vengeance. She said sometimes the greatest setbacks set up the biggest comebacks, and that's been her focus throughout this rehab. She said, I'm learning to be a great encourager. I'm learning to coach a little bit and finding my role in making sure that I'm supporting every single person on this team. Of course, we can't wait to see McKenna Kelly back in action, and her team will be back in action when we come back in the fourth and final rotation. LSU takes the beam. Florida heads to the floor. The Tigers with the slight lead over the Gators at home. We'll be back in just a moment.
You know I'm straight. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I got my breath. I got my faith, and I remember why I came.
Glorious, glorious. I feel glorious, 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 glorious. I feel glorious, glorious.
You're watching Friday Night Heights, presented by Bell. Set now for the fourth and final rotation. This one is close. In fact, it just got closer. There was an adjustment on the score for Kennedy Baker from a 9-7 to a 9-8. So this competition going into the final rotation is separated by just 15/100ths of a point. And of course, the visiting team has to finish on beam, which brings up the Rock, Erin McAdag.
And this is an opportunity for LSU to really show their mettle. They can be very tough on this event. They finished at the Super 6 finals last year in extraordinary fashion under a lot of pressure. We refer to the first two in their lineup as one of the greatest 1-2 punches in collegiate gymnastics. Erin McAdag, then Maya Hambrick. Erin sets them off in such fashion. She performs this to the hilt. It's a well-constructed routine, well-performed. And when she's on, very nice floaty back handspring, layout step out. When she's on, she can score very well on this event.
At just 4 feet 9 inches tall.
Whoa, she is holding on. That we kind of call that the college stick. She quickly turns to salute the judge, but she did glue those feet to the mat. Even shows flexibility on her back handspring layout step out. I'm seeing a full split there. Gainer full off the side and fought like a tiger should for that landing.
On the floor, Alyssa Bowman.
Alyssa Bowman will lead off Florida on the floor. We saw her impressive work on the beam, the freshman out of Dallas, Texas.
And we also saw her warm up her double layout. She was allowed to do that, but in the competition, she's doing a pike double back. They are really being conservative with these freshman elites who are not accustomed to competing weekend after weekend after weekend. They're going to have more meets in this first month than they do all year as an elite.
That's something that Jenny Rowland, who coached elite gymnastics for a long time, she's really well aware of that. She said some of the gymnasts are mad at her because she's not letting them do their hard stuff. But she says, hey, young ladies, this is a long season. You need to make it to the end.
That was a great middle pass. You don't often see the back 1.5 twist to the front full twist.
Scores in for Erin McAdag for LSU on beam. She led them off with a 9-9.
An elegant gymnast with such great technique, not just on her tumbling, but in these dance elements that the judges are looking at very closely for the position in the air. And if they're a turning skill, they must really complete the rotation in the air to get credit. She finishes with a pike double back, more difficulty on the final pass, which is nice. That will be her desired finish when she throws the double layout into the mix, and that will be one of college gymnastics' really great floor routines. So this is more difficulty than many of the gymnasts do on their combination pass, and she does it really quite well. The back 1.5 twist to a front full. Beautiful execution. Look at the arm lift, and finishes the skill with above her head height. It was really nicely done.
Maya Hambrick, the other half of this dynamic duo to lead off beam for LSU. I mentioned McAdag's 9-9. In fact, that's the 7th 9-9 or higher for LSU tonight.
One of my favorite combinations. She really finessed the landing out of that aerial cartwheel. Needs to watch that back leg just a little bit on the leap to really keep that form all the way through the landing. Love the construction of this routine. A lot of unique elements, including that full turn at the beginning. Most gymnasts do the bare minimum there. She holds the leg up high. They also spread the difficulty throughout the routine so nicely and show the different level changes. finishes with a double twist. Gets the landing. Really well done. Good for her.
2 impressive hit routines to lead off the beam rotation here for LSU.
You can tell what she is thinking here. Look, look, look. Spots the landing. I don't think it's a perfect stick. She slid that foot ever so slightly.
But she got the...
She didn't see our replay, though. They didn't see the replay. It was close. It was very close.
Generous with the stick crown tonight, but they are the away team, so they're trying to keep everybody motivated as we go back to the home team on floor. Jasmine, and they call her Jazzy Foger. 9-8-7-5 was the score for Alyssa Bowman in the leadoff spot.
Half in, half out.
Go to Laura.
Mom Michelle, once again for Jasmine, guys, she is dialed in. And Jasmine said she used to have a very serious floor routine in her elite days. Now, this one a lot more fun. Her mom all the way from New Jersey with 20 other family members and friends. And she's seen this one time. Her mouth was on the floor, and she came up to Jasmine after and said, "Girl, you can dance. I didn't even know."
Can't blame her for bringing 20 people with her. It's about 70 degrees warmer here in Gainesville than it is in New Jersey right now.
It's so fun watching the elite gymnasts come to college and just open up, show other parts of their personality, have some fun. I mean, I guarantee you in elite, you don't have other people doing your floor routine along this side.
They're rarely cheering for you in elite because they're all out there as individuals, but in collegiate competition, it's all about the team.
Good clean landing. Oh, I love that finish. Very crisp, very clean. She finished this good routine with a tuck double back. And I love the way she just quickly goes into her ending pose.
Take a look at the key incoming freshmen. They're doing a nice job tonight, Kathy.
And I have to say, they're being really wise with these athletes because they can do more difficulty. And they're going to really ease them into that difficulty as the season progresses.
Kennedy Edney now on beam for LSU. Maya Hambrick followed Erin McAdake's 9-9 with her own 9. What a start for LSU in this final rotation.
Kennedy Edney just had a little bit of a pause in that connection from her front aerial. Interesting change of spot before her back handspring layout step out. Usually the gymnasts just look at the beam and then go back. She actually looks out before going back into a back handspring.
Keep in mind how close this team competition is coming into this final rotation. LSU over Florida by 15/100ths of a point, and LSU already has 9 nines in the bag on beam.
The one thing they count on from Kennedy is she has such a competitive spirit, competitive drive, and that counts for so much in college gymnastics. Pulls out a very well hit balance beam routine. Oh yeah, I gotta look at the judge.
Jasmine Foberg's score is in for Florida. On the floor, it's a 9-8. Rachel Slocum.
Now, I think we saw her on vault, and I think her vault had a double layout on the brain syndrome. She's nervous about this first pass. She does it really well, but it's new. And I think just it was too much in her head on the first event.
Going for a double layout.
Needs good arm lift all the way around. Oh, buckled just a little bit on the landing, but a big smile nonetheless. I'll tell you what, one of the most fun things about college gymnastics is watching their development. Adding difficulty, in some cases skills they never thought they would perform. And And Rachel's like a kid in a candy store on the gym floor. She's just so excited. Her enthusiasm is unparalleled, really. And she keeps everybody light, happy. Front fold to front pike. You tell me you're not smiling.
Coaches say she's always looking for somebody in the audience to entertain. Such a great salesperson of her floor set.
Finishes with a Rudy. Haha, such an easy person to root for. She brings so much joy to this team and really, as I said, just lighten the atmosphere for them, and it helps them relax.
And a big moment for her to add that double layout for her opening tumbling run. Way to go after a disappointment on the vault earlier today.
And Jenny had told her at the last meet, you were just a little bit too serious, and it's because she was concentrating so hard on that double layout.
Christina Desiderio, now the freshman from New Jersey, up on the beam. Now, Kathy, we've talked about this. Kennedy Edney, by the way, 9.775. This is the one area where, in the past, LSU has been a little bit vulnerable, is in that middle of the beam lineup.
And that's just something they're going to play with when they find that magical transition from athlete to athlete. And it's that middle of the lineup that they want to build up. They've got their first two, solid as can be. Sarah Finnegan is an excellent anchor. We've got a gorgeous beam worker that's going to lead into Sarah. So the nice thing is they do have depth. So many of them are ready to step into the balance beam. Nice lead.
Did her club training at Parkettes. She enrolled at LSU a year early, so she turned 17 in her first month on campus here.
And they are happy to have her. She's going to add a lot to this team.
Very comfortable set for a freshman in the middle of the lineup there.
Remember, the judges are looking for this full split, and you want to see it go beyond, just like she does. And I love that her leg is hyperextended. It is beyond straight. Nice job for the freshman.
So 4 hit routines for LSU on the critical beam. Remember, they were leading by 15/100ths of a point coming into this final rotation. Florida's scores on floor are Alyssa Bowman, 9.875, Jasmine Folberg, 9.8, Rachel Slocum, 9.775.
Wait, there's a phone call. Now talk about change from her freshman year to now. So much more personality. The smiles coming out. It took them forever to get her to smile at all in a Florida routine. Now they can't get her to stop.
Shouldn't be hard to smile after that amazing double layout.
She's got so much power and the technique. That combination is really fantastic to see. She would have never done that as a freshman, ever in a million years, and she is just having so much fun, entertaining. Their choreographer, Jeremy Miranda, did all new floor routines before leaving for a cruise. He performs on a cruise. They send him videos while he's on the ship, and he analyzes them and sends back corrections or tells him to just keep on going. Did you see how sky high her final tumbling pass?
Oh, nice job for the junior from Franklin Lakes, New Jersey.
I think that was kind of like drop the mic, hang up the phone. I mean, what more can you say about the power here, the technique, gorgeous laid out position in the air. controlled landings, but look at the height. This was probably the most impressive, even though it was just a double back in tuck position, so high. Energy to spare there.
We go back to the beam now for LSU, their 5th of 6 performers. By the way, Christina Desiderio, the freshman, a 9.85. This is Reagan Campbell.
Well, you never see that anymore. A press handstand mount. Years ago, that was a common mount on balance beam. Most people just want to stand up there and get going.
Well, you don't see very many creative mounts on balance beam in collegiate gymnastics. It's really not worth the risk.
Now, it'll be interesting to see if they take a deduction. That front aerial, she kind of readjusted the front foot before going into the back handspring, I think. Standing back, tuck to a split jump. She fought to keep her balance so that she could keep that connection moving smoothly. Judges are very particular when it's a connection.
Impressive scores for LSU so far. The low score is a 9.775.
They're going to hit a little bit on that first leap, the position in the air. The legs weren't quite tight and straight. Round off double twist. Look at that landing. Where's my crown? Watch this. Straddle L. It's a strength move, strength and balance. Little bit of a falter right there. Split handstand and right down to the balance beam.
Next on the floor for your Florida Gators.
I think she really wants an opportunity to wear the crown here. Went for that landing and got it. Got it.
She got it. One more crown. Kennedy Baker set to go now. Alicia Bourne before her at 9.9. That's the high score for Florida on the floor so far.
What a performer. Each year, her performance level has gone up and up and up. And that is absolutely fabulous. Arabian double in an open pike position. Perfect control on the landing. That's a wow. That's how you perform. She milks every single move. None of it is too small. Just a little bit of everything in this routine. Gorgeous position in the air on that first leap.
I think it's time to use that word you made up last week. Sassitude.
Sassitude. To the nth degree. Back 1.5. So Brandy, she had to fight to get into that leap jump. Almost perfection from start to finish. Just a little off on the final tumbling pass, but she covered it really well. Check this out. This should get bonus through the roof. I mean, that is almost laid out. Excellent execution, tight position in that tuck position. Now right here, she buckles just ever so slightly out of the Branny. But like a veteran, covered it well. Oh, Bailey loves it.
And what a thrill for her and the 9,661 people here in the building tonight. Sarah Finnegan wrapping it up for LSU on the beam. The score for Reagan Campbell before her, a respectable 9.775.
She left out the double wolf turn, being a little bit conservative here, I think, because the competition is tight. It's coming down to the end. And remember, in college gymnastics, it is all about team. I like the way she worked through those leaps. Such beautiful form and precision, particularly with her feet. Look how she has this long neck, shoulders stay down, such gorgeous extension from start to finish. Fought for the landing and got it.
With a 9.95 on beam, she could clinch the meet for LSU even before the final performer of Florida on the floor.
Really excellent job by such a natural balance beam worker. So lovely.
LSU was not thrilled with their effort on the beam last week in their opening meet, but an outstanding job away tonight here in Gainesville for the Tigers on that event. Megan Skaggs, first time competing for LSU on the floor. Kennedy Baker, a well-deserved 9.925 before her.
Such beautiful body movement and arms. Does such justice to this choreography. Pack 1.5 to tuck double back. You don't see that often. Back 1.5 to front layout.
Score is in for Sarah Finnegan. It's a 9.925. That means Megan Skaggs would need a 10 to tie it tonight for the home team.
Hard to get a 10 this early in the season, but I tell you what, she has got a gorgeous one going.
Coach Rowland said this is one of her favorite routines because it's not a typical college routine style.
I love it. She has great difficulty in the tumbling. Let's see if she can get the landing. Double pike. What a fantastic routine to finish this. Let's keep it close as can be. Wow.
The freshman delivers. That was the question mark. How much contribution will we get from the freshman for Florida? But a nice job for this young lady from Marietta, Georgia.
I love that routine. Sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for this score because I tell you what, the level of difficulty was wonderful. Her execution was so good, and the choreography really is superior to so many routines we see in college gymnastics.
A lot of gymnastics fans expect to see Alex McMurtry in that anchor spot, but we have documented that her back is fragile, and so they're resting her tonight and hoping for her body to hang on through the entire season. Coming up next, Friday Night Heights continues as Georgia takes on Alabama. And here comes the score. Florida score for Megan Skaggs, a 9.925. So the final score tonight, LSU will win with a 197-2 over Florida, 197-125. For Laura Rutledge, Kathy Johnson-Clark, and our entire crew, I'm Bart Connor. So long from Florida. We'll send it out to Tuscaloosa after the break. Friday Night Heights is presented by Belk, the home of modern Southern style and official retail department store of the SEC.